Hello everyone, welcome to Natural Prana.
Tonight we're going to do a video about the 10 benefits of eating a raw plant-based diet. So our first one is clear skin. Before we started eating this way, I had acne on my face, on my chest, and on my back, just slightly. Korey had it very heavily on his face, really, really bad on his back, and then some on your chest.
Yeah, a little bit on my chest, mostly on my back.
And then when we stopped using like the chemicals and stuff on our face, and that's when my face started to clear up. And I also noticed that it wasn't as bad. Like, I didn't have breakouts on my chest and on my back. But it was really when we stopped eating the oil and eating like a meat-based, dairy-based diet, and we started eating raw, that I noticed that it completely cleared up.
Yeah, my back was very bad. As soon as I stopped eating the oil, my whole back actually cleared up, and I had scars on there too because I would just get so much acne on there. And all the scars and everything went away. It's completely clear now.
And we would try everything too. Like, for years he used Proactive, and we were using just like like all the face washes and stuff that they tell you to use, and we were just like trying all these different things and could never get rid of it, and that's really because it comes from the inside out. But even with this pregnancy, I have not had any breakouts. I've had like 1 or 2 days where I get a pimple and then the next day it's gone. And with my daughter, my face broke out a lot. So it was really nice not having any breakouts. And then also, while we were still eating, like a cooked diet, I noticed that I would still get breakouts around my period. And that completely stopped when I started eating a more raw-based diet. And we don't wash our face with anything either now, which is really nice. We just use water, and that's it.
And that's why you need to read the products on the food you're eating, or the ingredients on the food you're eating, and read the ingredients on the products. But those ingredients are a lot of chemicals, which that's what's trying to come out of your skin. It's the chemicals. Your body's trying to help you stay clear of all of these things. It just can't handle everything you're throwing at it.
Right. So number 2 is the energy that you have eating this way. So we used to, when we were eating like the standard American diet, I was working like a 9-to-5 job, and we would both have like coffee or some kind of caffeinated tea in the morning, and sometimes I would even have both. And then I always needed that, like in the morning, to like wake me up and get me going, to get my daughter to school and to get to work and to get started. And then around 2 o'clock I would always need another cup of coffee, or some kind of something that gave me energy, some kind of drink. And I needed that every single day. When we started eating more cleaner and more natural, and then we started eating raw, we do not consume any type of caffeine anymore, and we don't really feel the need to at all. We have like water when we wake up, and when we wake up now, it's just like we're up for the day. Like, we don't need anything to keep us going, or to get us going and to keep us going, because the food gives us like the energy that we need.
When we were still drinking coffee and tea, we were eating a completely chemical-free diet. We were eating all organic. We were not eating vegan yet, but that just shows you how much energy is still draining from you because of that. And I used to sleep, because I would stay up till 1 or 2 a.m. almost every day. that I didn't have work and play video games, which even when I did have work, sometimes I would. And if I did have work, I would be extremely tired in the morning because I wouldn't get my 12 hours of sleep that I would like to have. And as soon as I started eating a plant-based diet, I started to get more energy. I would probably sleep about 10 hours a day. But when I started eating only fruit, my energy really shot up very high, and I'm never tired anymore. At one point, I was getting up at 6 a.m. every day, which I thought was crazy for me. And I still could if I would go to bed a little bit earlier. But usually when I go to sleep, it's because I just feel like I want to go lay down and I have nothing else to do for today. It's not because I'm tired, though. And whenever I get up in the middle of the night, or if I do have to get up early for some reason, I'm not tired at all. I still like to sleep, kind of.
Right.
So.
On the weekends, he used to sleep unless we had to be somewhere specifically at a specific time. On both Saturday and Sunday, he would sleep till at least 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon, which drove me crazy. But it was like immediately when we started eating raw, I couldn't believe that like he would be up before me on the weekend, which was crazy, and nobody else could believe that either. The third benefit is that it's very simple and convenient. I used to be really into cooking and baking. It was just something that I really enjoyed doing, especially like I started doing it with my daughter too, so it was kind of like a special thing to me. And it took up a lot of my time, though, I noticed, planning out all these meals, because I would make big meals for like breakfast and then for dinner as well. And every week I would plan out like the grocery list and get all the recipes together so that we could have something different each night. And it was just like a lot of my time was spent in that area where I could have spent it somewhere else. But I just thought, like our society places such an importance on food, and you feel like that's what you're supposed to be doing. Like it's okay that the mom sits down and, makes her grocery list for the week and plans out all these meals. That's what she's supposed to do.
Right, and when you're doing that, most people don't even like doing it, but they're doing it because they think that is the best thing to do for their health.
Right, and what they're supposed to do. It wasn't until we started eating like more raw that I really started enjoying it. And sometimes I do miss cooking. I think I do. And then some nights we'll have like, when we don't have a lot of like ripe fruit available to us, we'll have, like steamed roots and tubers and stuff. And it's on those nights where it's not even like that I have to really prepare much, that I'm just steaming these, but I have like the extra dishes and stuff like that, and then I'm like, okay, I don't miss cooking at all. It's just nice that I don't have to, like plan a whole meal for dinner, I have to start cooking now and spend an hour to 2 hours cooking this for us to sit down and eat it. We all can just eat what we want whenever we're hungry. And that's one of our things with our daughter too, is we never make her eat when she's not hungry, and that's what we were doing when we were eating cooked, because we would all sit down. It was like you have to have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then she could have some snacks in between. And we were like, I was very strict about that with her. And now it's just like more freedom, because we're not forcing her to eat when she's not hungry, which we never told her she had to like sit down and finish anything anyways. Like some parents are very strict about that. But it was still like, it's still, okay, we're sitting down and we're having dinner now, so you have to eat now. Now it's just like we grab whatever we want whenever we want, and there's less dishes. You don't have to worry about preparing anything. It's just really nice.
And then also, it's very convenient because it's so simple. So if you're ever out and you need something to eat, just go to any grocery store or wherever you can find that has fruit, and just find what's ripe and you can eat it. It's that easy.
Right, on the go or anything like that.
Or even just to pack something. It takes 2 minutes to pack your food up and go somewhere.
Yes. So the fourth benefit is we do not have body odor anymore. We don't even really we haven't used like real deodorant. Deodorant's very, very bad. Conventional deodorant is, if you look at the ingredients, especially the ones that you find in just like your normal stores like Dove and Secret, all of those have aluminum in them. So do not use them. They cause breast cancer. But we have been using, it's just like a crystal rock, and they're in health food stores. And all you do is just like run it under the water, and then you can put it under your armpits. And we've been using that for probably at least a year. I mean, we started using that a long time ago, maybe even a year and a half. I use it every day. He doesn't really use it at all anymore. I only notice body odor. Like we all have a certain scent to us, but we don't smell like bad. Like you can tell when somebody just smells really bad, like they just smell like they haven't like showered or anything. And since we stopped eating really like meat and dairy and the oil products is when you really don't have any, you don't notice your body odor on you. The only time I still eat onions occasionally, and I notice that when I do, the next day I will have a certain body odor that smells, you know, like onions kind of. And that's the only time that I really even notice anything, even in Arizona where it's like super hot here. We sweat and stuff, but it's like we don't produce this bad smelling odor because we're not putting bad things into our body.
Yeah, we're supposed to sweat. Sweating is natural. That's why you shouldn't use deodorant that makes you not sweat. It's very, very bad for you to keep that in. But the other benefit is that when you do sweat, you don't have to worry about it like a lot of people do, because it doesn't smell like anyone else that when they sweat. So when people even smell it, they don't even notice it because it's not a scent that stinks. It's more of a sweet scent. And she said I haven't been using deodorant in probably the last couple of months, and it's been pretty hot here, and I do sweat and I'm an IT tech, so I'm running around and stuff, and no one's ever said anything to me. She's never said anything to me. She didn't even know I wasn't even using it at first.
No. The fifth one is that your hair does not get oily anymore. And I just did a video about how I don't wash my hair and why I don't. And this is one of the reasons, is because your hair simply does not get oily. It doesn't get dirty. Like we said, we do sweat, but in the shower, like both of us just rinse our hair with water. And I do also use lemon once every like week and a half to 2 weeks. But that's not because I feel like it's dirty. I just simply like doing that. And I don't know, it's just when you're not we noticed it really when we stopped we were using a lot of olive oil because when we first transitioned to being vegan
and raw,
we were eating a lot of vegetables at first. We weren't into the fruit, and we just like weren't really informed about it, and you know, you're taught like that your vegetables are the best. So that's really what we were consuming a lot of, was we would have like these huge salads, and I was making these dressings for it that were very like, we were using tons of olive oil in them. So we were consuming lots of oil, and during that time our hair was like, we were still using shampoo and stuff that I was making, but it would still be really oily. And as soon as we realized that we don't need to add like extra oils and salt and stuff like that, we stopped using it. Our hair was not oily at all, and we realized that we don't even need to be washing it because we're not dirty. We just rinse it out now.
Right, and the reason the oil does that is because it's extracted from the fruits, and it's a partial food. It's not a whole food, and your body does not know how to digest it at all because it's literally complete fat, and it just sits in your body and it excretes it then through your skin.
Right. So the sixth one is that your breath does not smell anymore when you are eating a raw diet, especially fruit. So if you talk to someone who who has just eaten a burger, maybe like the day before, you can smell, even the next day, you can like smell it on their breath because their food is not even digested through their body yet. Fruit digests extremely quickly, and vegetables do quickly compared to cooked food and compared to especially like meat and dairy and other animal products. But it's not sitting in your digestive system, which that's what makes your breath smell, because it's coming up. So we notice that none of our breath smells really.
No, I don't even use we use tooth powder because all toothpaste have horrible chemicals in them that we make ourselves. But I don't even use it anymore. I just use my toothbrush to brush stuff off my teeth, which it's really only when we eat the potatoes and stuff that I really even have to. When I'm eating fruit, there's nothing that really even sticks to my teeth that much, and I'm drinking enough water.
Yeah, and I do use the powder still. For one, I'm just really used to using like something on my teeth, and also when I get pregnant, it happened with my daughter too. My teeth start getting, which I read that this is common for a lot of women, that your teeth can like start getting bad. So I've just been using it throughout this whole pregnancy. I don't know if it'll change like once I have the baby, but for now I'm still using it. It's just like clay and peppermint essential oil and then like a couple other things. So it's nothing really major. But yeah, we don't really have bad breath anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because all of these odors, it teaches you have to fix them from the outside when it's really starts with what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, because that's where it's actually coming from. Mm-hmm.
So the seventh benefit is the variety that you have to pick from. It's not like, I don't know, you can explain this one.
There's thousands of different fruits that you can choose from. I mean, there's even a lot of different vegetables you can choose from, but each fruit, even when you're eating just one fruit, they all taste different. It all has a different flavor to it. So when you sit down and eat just bananas, each banana has a different flavor and they each taste delicious if you're eating really good bananas, which goes the same for any fruit. As long as it's ripe and sweet, it's all delicious, and it's great to just have such a large variety to choose from, which unfortunately, when you're in an industrialized place like the US or Europe or any country like that, it's very limited, which I don't think is by mistake, but when you get into the tropics, there's tons and tons of different fruits to choose from, which is why we're going to Hawaii.
I also like it too for our daughter because I feel like it gives her more freedom, kind of, because we will buy a big variety of different fruits, and like she loves going grocery shopping, and every time she, like she has the option to pick like a bunch of stuff that she'll just get to pick from, and then when we're home, everything's all set out and she can pick from whatever she wants. And I feel like that has changed her a little bit because she feels more independent and more like it's her making the choice. Like before, when we were eating the standard American diet, she was just having, you know, she would have cereal for breakfast, a grilled cheese for lunch, and then sometimes I could get her to eat something that I was cooking for dinner, maybe a little bit of something, but it was always a fight. And with this, it's not really, there's no fight to it. It's just she gets to pick what she wants. She knows what we have, and she gets to pick what she wants. And the only time she really, you know, I said it in one of our other videos, but the only time that she ever asks for something different, like she'll ask for potatoes and stuff, is when she notices that we don't have a variety of things for her to pick from. And she can't really, you know, like, she doesn't want something that we have if there's not a big variety. So that's the only time that she ever has a complaint. Otherwise, she just happily eats what we have for her to pick from. The 8th benefit is you spend less time in the bathroom. This diet is so much easier on your digestive system. So you're not spending all this time, you know, like, none of us are ever constipated. And especially with this pregnancy, it's much different than with my daughter, because I was always constipated with her, and that's just a normal thing that you hear. It's like, oh, you're pregnant, so it's normal for you to be constipated. You're going to get hemorrhoids, is what they tell people. And I actually did get them with her. And this time, it's just, I haven't been constipated once, because just from like the fresh fruits and vegetables that I've been eating, it just is great on my digestive system.
Which, even when we started eating just vegetables and fruit, there's a huge difference even for your digestion from vegetables to fruit, because the vegetables have a lot of other stuff in it that the fruit doesn't have, and it takes longer for your digestive system to push it through. It knows how to digest it all, it just takes longer to do it, like 4 hours. And with fruit, it's only an hour, maybe a couple hours, and it's through you, and you already went to the bathroom. And when you're eating all fruit, you sit down and you go for like 2 minutes. It takes you no time at all to go to the bathroom.
Right, whereas most people spend a great deal of their time in the bathroom, like taking things in there with them, and, you know, like being on their phone or reading a book or the newspaper or something like that. And when you're eating, you know, like a raw diet, it's very, like, you just don't even notice it. And that's another thing, you don't notice your digestive system really at all. With certain things, I think you do, but with fruit, definitely not.
Yeah, but when I'm eating strictly fruit, I could not tell you when I'm actually digesting something. When I eat some starches, potatoes or something, I can tell that it is digesting. It's not a huge difference, but you can tell it is, because it has to turn the starch into a sugar, and you can feel your stomach actually moving. But when it's fruit, you have no idea that it's even going on.
Right. The 9th benefit is that it is the natural diet for us, and it's ethical. So we became vegan before we started like the raw vegan, but we did it very shortly after we became vegan, because we first became vegan for the ethical reasons, and then we started realizing all the health, like the actual health benefits. When we were eating, we thought we were eating very healthy by eating like grass-fed beef and cage-free organic eggs, and, you know, like just all these
uncured bacon.
Right. Yeah, with no nitrates in it. So we thought we were eating healthy by eating that, but then we watched quite a few documentaries and decided that we didn't want to eat that stuff because of the animals.
And also spiritually, I always knew that I was gonna have to stop eating animals. I just didn't know that it was actually healthier for you though.
Right.
To do it at that point.
Yeah. So
but spiritually, I knew that I couldn't, but I still was.
Right. So then we realized the health benefits of it. But that's what we really like about this, the way we eat, is because we can sustain ourselves and really have really great health without harming another living being. There's no reason for us to kill something in order to eat a meal. We can, like happily enjoy a meal that's way better for our health without taking the life of something else. And that's something that, I don't know, that's really important to us.
Right, and also, when a lot of people will say, well, plants are living, which, yes, they are, which they're not the same thing as a animal, but I do agree with that. I don't like eating vegetables. That's one of the reasons why I don't. Like, when you eat lettuce, it's this head of lettuce that they grew in just to cut to give to you. That's why I eat fruit, because fruit doesn't harm the plant at all. The fruit is what the plant wants you to take and spread, because it has the seeds to grow more trees or plants. So that's one reason to even eat fruit, because of that.
Right. The last benefit is the clarity of mind that you have on this diet. I don't really want to call it a diet, but this way of eating. A lot of people are familiar with like brain fog and just not thinking clearly or straight, and that's really common on a highly processed, meat-based, dairy-based, cooked diet. And with this way of eating, it's like you just like can think very clearly for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're busy eating stuff that really clogs your digestive system, it takes away from your mind power, because your body's busy trying to, one, digest everything, and two, not allow it to harm the rest of your body. Because when it takes a while to digest, it starts to petrify and turn and ferment, and it gets excreted to the rest of your body, and you steal a lot of your energy to stop that, which causes you to lose your mind power. And when you're eating a all-fruit diet, your mind is very, very clear, and you don't have any problems with having any type of fogginess at any point. Like even I said, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I know exactly what's going on, and I'm completely coherent then, which I never used to be. I used to talk in my sleep even, and then have no idea what I was saying.
Right.
And one other thing, a bonus thing, is eating fruit is the optimal diet for us as well. It's what the human body is made to eat, because it's a simple sugar, which is what your body wants. That's what it digests. That's why when you eat fruit, your digestive system works so good, because it knows exactly what to do with it, and it can use it right away, which is, in my video I made about protein, the amino acids, that's what it uses straight away out of the fruit, and then the rest of it just passes right through you, excreting nutrients, of course, as well on the way. And that's it for this one. Have a good night, everyone.